Brittani Marcell lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with her mom Diane and her 6 siblings. The 17-year-old had only begun her senior year at Cibola High School when everything changed in the blink of an eye. On September 11, 2008, Brittani drove home to meet her mother for lunch. Diane arrived shortly afterwards and opened the front door. Her daughter's favorite sunglasses were on the floor of the entryway. Brittani was asleep nearby. A man stood over her, holding a shovel, and blood was pouring from her head. He dropped the shovel, dashed to the kitchen, and grabbed a butcher knife. He pursued Diane and yelled, "You're next." Diane screamed for help as the strange man broke a dining room window and fled the scene. Brittani had multiple skull fractures, as well as a broken jaw, arm, and wrist. She was in a coma for 10 days. Brittani miraculously survived despite all odds, but not without serious life-altering injuries. She was born with one eye blind and one ear deaf. Brittani had to relearn how to walk, talk, and eat all over again. Tragically, she had no recollection of the attack, let alone some of her closest friends or her entire high school experience. Because of the violent nature of the assault, authorities suspected it was personal. They came to the conclusion that Brittani was attacked from behind as she entered her home. A roll of duct tape was discovered at the scene, indicating that the suspect intended to kidnap Brittani. Brittani's attacker cut himself as he jumped through the window, leaving only a single drop of blood behind. It was entered into the national database, but there were no matches. Investigators pursued several leads over the years, but none resulted in an arrest. Time and again, disappointment shrouded the Marcell family. It wasn't until 8 years later that bits and pieces of Brittani's memory began to return, and one name kept popping into her head. Justin Hansen is an actor. Brittani first met Justin in middle school. She spent a lot of time at her then best friend Abby's house back then. Lauren, Abby's older sister, was dating Justin at the time, and he was frequently at their house. Brittani recalled Justin paying her frequent visits at a sunglass kiosk in the mall where she worked. He worked at Hollister on the same floor. Investigators began working with Parabon Snapshot around this time, a company that can create a computer-generated image and provide specifics such as eye color and ethnicity simply by using a DNA sample. When the results came in, the investigators were taken aback. The Parabon Snapshot image was almost identical to Justin Hansen's. Authorities went to Justin's house in Bosque Farms, a small village in New Mexico, where he was living with his 4 children and his now ex-wife. Justin denied visiting Brittani at the sunglass kiosk and claimed he didn't know her, but her friend said he stopped by and flirted with her every day for 6 months before the attack, and he couldn't explain why her phone number was in his phone. Investigators were forced to get creative when Justin refused to provide a DNA sample. They tracked him down to a McDonald's and extracted his DNA from a cup he threw away. It was an ideal match. Justin was arrested on July 5, 2017, following a nearly 10-year investigation. The 33-year-old was charged with several crimes, including attempted first-degree murder and aggravated burglary. Justin had a history of violence against women. In 2004, he was charged with assaulting a pregnant ex-girlfriend, and in 2007, he was charged with rape. However, no criminal charges were ever brought against him. Prosecutors discovered that Justin, who was 24 at the time of the attack, had several gym and tanning salon memberships revoked for harassing teen girls. "He has a darkness in him," said a former friend. "I've seen the darkness, and it's not a matter of if, but of when with him." Justin pleaded not guilty. He received an 18-year prison sentence. He has never admitted to the attack on Brittani Marcell, and she is still unsure what caused it. However, she believes she rejected his advances beforehand. His scheduled release date is 2036, when he will be 55 years old. Brittani, now in her 30s and having undergone 22 surgeries, is still on the mend and hopes to become an advocate for victims of violent crime. What are your thoughts on the Brittani Marcell's case? I really appreciate your input. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Be a part of the Chris Crime Diaries family and hit the subscribe button now.